Welcome, friends. Today, we are doing another fragrance rotation video for the week ending the 2nd of October, 2022. Chilly. And chilly it is. The temperature, not just the temperature, the weather has taken a severe turn for the worse this week. Started off cool and cooling, and then just descended into like rain and misery, and so my fragrance picks will reflect this, as you are about to see. Now, on Monday, it wasn't quite so bad, but it was autumnal. Okay, so the temperature was still all right, but the leaves are starting to fall a little bit, and the trunks and the branches of the trees are starting to become more exposed. And with that in mind, I decided to go for something rather woody. And that was Beauty Wood by House of Matriarch. This is lovely. It's supposed to be a sandalwood, but I find it more woody than I find it sandalwoody, if that makes sense. Sandalwood's almost got this kind of... It's become a bit of a trope. You get a creamy sandalwood. This is more of a woody sandalwood. It's definitely got that smoothness. It's got like this kind of like... It does have hints of like the creaminess and the softness that you get from sandalwood, but there's definitely something else in here that gives it that woody bark kind of... Bark as in the bark of a tree, not the bark of a dog. Woof. But it gives like this kind of wooden brownness. That's the best way I can describe this. It's like a slightly wet tree, not forest floor, not wood floor, not like wood products like a chair or anything like that, or a table, but like the living bark of a tree. It's got that kind of vibe going on. I really like it. A little bit of warm spice at the top as well, so I prefer to wear this in the cooler months. But I really enjoyed it and will be wearing it again, as you will see. Next. Excuse me. Tuesday. Tuesday was considerably cooler. Again. And with that in mind, I decided to wear a tobacco fragrance. I find tobacco quite warming, and it has that kind of... It evokes cold weather for me, That's what it smells like. It smells like cold weather, especially when it's mixed with like cinnamon and vanilla and things like that. And with that in mind, I wore probably my favourite tobacco scent, and this is Tobacco Rouge by Fadon. This is an older style bottle, and frankly, the bottle isn't the greatest. Whatever they've used to cover the bottle is, as you can see, it's just peeling off. But not to worry. The scent inside is still brilliant, and it's opening up quite a lot. You can see I've used quite a lot. I don't know if you can tell the level there, but there, see? I think this is fantastic. I prefer this to Tobacco Vanille, which is just a lot more, Tobacco Vanille is very deep. It's a little bit too rich for me, Tobacco Vanille. I never wanted to buy it. It was a little bit too much, With this is a little bit calmer, but it's very much in that style, If you like Tobacco Vanille, you will like this. One of the most remarkable things about this fragrance is when it was released, I think they forgot to put in the literature that it had tobacco in it, because everybody was very confused for a long time until it was the new presentation came out, and it said actually in the notes that yes, indeed, it did have tobacco. So lovely. But cinnamon vanilla tobacco, beautiful. Brilliant for the cold weather. Next, Wednesday, again, cool, cold. And on Wednesday, I decided to fight off the cool and the cold with one of the best designer fragrances made ever for men or women, frankly. But this is my Angel Men. Now, I have a few Angel Men's or Amens. This is the original formula. This is Angel Men. I don't know if you can see that on the bottom, but it says Angel Men at the top there. It is a tester, yes. I think I got this for free off someone, or very low price, but this is Angel Men, the original formula, and it is absolutely massive. Massive. It's huge. It's one of the strongest perfumes I've got, and I've got some strong ones. I mean, Tobacco Rouge, the fragrance I just showed before this, is massive as well. This blows it out the water. This is nuclear. It's sweet. It's a synthetic kind of sweetness too. If you spray too much of this, you will die, and so will people around you. The sprayer on this one isn't too clever, actually. I've thought about decanting it, but I think I've got too much. I've got too much to put it into a 10ml, but not enough to put it into a 100ml bottle. So I'm just gonna, you know, stick with it until it gets further down. But I love this stuff. I get the tar, and it's not like a birch tar, it's like a road tar. And then you get the caramel and the lavender and the mint and the patchouli in this. The patchouli is like a real designer patchouli. It'd be a niche fragrance if they released it now. It'd be like a Coeur de Jean. Coeur de Jean would charge you like 300-400 quid for this these days. L'Oreal bought Thierry Mugler, changed the brand to Mugler, tried to reinvent it, I think, watered down the fragrances, and have eventually just discontinued all of them. They're gone. You can't get these now. I don't know if they've been officially discontinued or if they are saying that they can't get the ingredients, because a few brands are saying that with some perfumes at the minute, or whether they're just using that as an excuse to be rid. But this, you can't find this anymore. And the vintage bottles, I mean, people are now paying upwards of 120, 130 quid for bottles of like pure malt and pure Havana and stuff like that. They're not worth that. Not the flankers, maybe the original. I mean, I like Taste of Fragrance. Taste of Fragrance is my second favourite from the line after this one. And I love that, but I wouldn't pay that kind of price for that. It's just not. I mean, the performance is massive. If you were going to buy any Muglers, don't buy the ones that just say Mugler on them. Buy the ones that say Thierry Mugler, because the Mugler ones are the L'Oreal versions, and they absolutely destroyed it. It's not worth paying for those bottles, frankly. Anyhow, next, on Thursday, I decided, excuse me, I'm just having a little whiff just to remind me. I kept the patchouli theme going with my giant bottle of Patchouli Imperial. Can you actually read that? Yeah, you can a bit there. That's okay. That's Patchouli Imperial from Dior. This is, of course, what age are you? Oh, this is from 2014, this bottle, I believe. So it's got the CD on the top. Again, if you are looking for bottles of Dior Privé, try and get as old as possible, because the new ones just don't compare, frankly. This is all patchouli and sandalwood on me. There's very little going on. There might be a sweet note in there. I don't know what it is. Could be some ethyl maltol, could be a variety of things, but it is absolutely stunning, and it wears beautifully as well. Somebody actually mentioned it to us. I can't consider it a compliment, because this person knows I'm into fragrance and always mentions me fragrance whenever I'm with them. But they were like, yeah, that smells really nice. I really like that. But she's into patchouli massively, so I love wearing this. It's nuclear. I've got it. These aren't spray bottles. This is the big 450ml, which is why it doesn't fit into the picture. There you go. Look at the size of it. It's a big unit. But I decant these into my little 10ml sprayers and spray them with reckless abandon, and it is very fun. I wish these had sprayers in, but they don't. It would be funny if they did, because I love the 250ml size ones. But when I knew that I could get these, the 450, I just had to secure the juice before the reformulations came about. So this is one of my favourite patchoulis. Might do another patchouli list. I've done one before, but I may very well do another one. And you can bet that that will be on it. So I might have spoiled it now. There's no point in doing it. Sorry. Anyway, Friday. Friday it rained. Friday it rained and rained and rained. There was a considerable amount of rain on Friday. And with that in mind, I wore a fragrance I've been threatening to wear for a long time. And it's perfect for the rain. And you may already know what it is. And that fragrance is Encre Noir. Perfect for this time of year. You will have heard a lot about Encre Noir. And, I mean, almost all of it's true. YouTube videos will be oversaturated with this fragrance, or at least they were up until about 4 or 5 years ago now. I'm dating myself. But this really is a fabulous fragrance. There's no point in owning Sycamore by Chanel when you can get this for 10% of the price. This is, for me, everything that fragrance is. And frankly, I think I prefer it a bit. If I was to compare them directly, maybe not the Eau de Toilette Sycamore, but the Eau de Parfum definitely. For me, this fragrance is absolutely beautiful. It's a dark, smouldering vetiver. It's not smoky per se, although it's more dark. It's a dark green, black ink. That's the translation is black ink, and it's a brilliant name for the fragrance. It's stunning. I don't know what the latest formulas are like. Mine is a slightly older bottle. Can't help you as far as dating or aging them. Take your chances. This was made by Natalie Lawson, and it's one of, if not her masterpiece. Very hard to think of anything she's made that's better than this, and she's made some good stuff. She used to be one of my favourite perfumers. And this is one of the reasons why. The line is brilliant. Alex Trem is great for the real cold. It's like an ambery incense vetiver. Beautiful fragrance. But when it's raining and it's misty and there's grey and it's dark, this fragrance is perfect for that. Absolutely perfect. And I've been threatening to wear this. I don't wear it as much because I think it might be a touch of snobbery, like with it being a cheapie. But a lot of times, I mean, I don't know that there's going to be any cheapies soon, the way prices are going in perfume, but, try and disassociate yourself from the price point of a fragrance when choosing what to wear or what to buy. With that said, the next fragrance I'm going to show you is extremely expensive, and that is yesterday's fragrance of the day. Excuse me, I'm just going to get some of the fingerprints off. Yesterday's fragrance of the day was the first time I have worn Rochas Macassar. This is the first formulation, and it is stunning. When I first bought this and sprayed it on, I was a little bit like, oh no, God, what have I done? One, the sprayer is rotten. The sprayer is absolutely shit. It's just awful. There's no point in saying that it's good or anything other than awful, because that's what it is, just crap. But the fragrance starts off a bit like polo green, but then turns afterwards. There's it becomes like a darker, smoky. The leather in this is stunning. They don't make leathers like this anymore. I don't know what they used. I don't know how they did it, but it's oak moss, leather. I think there's castoreum in it. Or if not, there's castoreum in the leather accord. Pine needle, carnation. Carnation gives it this beautiful kind of creamy sort of maturity. Not age. Doesn't smell like old. But it gives it this age and it dates. It does feel like a fragrance from a bygone era, much like Koros and Cuir de Russie and all that good stuff, you know, Smalto, Porom. It's got this smoky leather thing going on, which I absolutely love. And taste, this reminds us of course, it's from the same generation, you know, 1980, 1981. What a time for fragrance that was, by the way. But yes, absolutely loved wearing this, even though the spray is absolutely lifting. And lastly, but not leastly, I decided to wear something completely different. And you will see exactly what I mean when I show you my scent of the day. Today's fragrance, I am wearing Kirk de Jean Oud Satin Mood. Completely different. This is much more like a modern day Amen for me. And this is what I was getting at when I was saying if Kirk de Jean had Angel Men, he'd be charging £300-500 for a bottle, you know, and people would be going ballistic for it because this reminds me of Angel Men. It's sweet, but it's dark. It's got depth. It's got this outrageous freshness, which is just, it shouldn't be there, but it somehow is. For me, this is the type of like, it's not an anti-fragrance, that's wrong to say. It's kind of like the antithesis of the sort of things I like. You know my taste. Like you can see it in the rows behind you. I've got a bottle of like the Blue Label Giacomo de Giacomo here. I've got Balenciaga Pour Homme up here. I've got the original version of Dior Homme. I've got a 1980s bottle of Cuir de Russie. I've got Serge Lutens, Yataghan, you know. But I also have this kind of like weird outlier every once in a while in my perfumes, like the Lamar L'Essence. I fucking love that shit. And I have no idea why. It doesn't make any sense, but I still love it. And it's great, you know? Bit of plurality, a little bit of difference, like mixing it up, do you know what I mean? Challenges you. So I highly recommend getting out of your comfort zone. And this does take us out of my comfort zone. This is the first time I've worn this in anger. I've always appreciated the smell. I got a good deal on this fragrance from a friend, Peter Kokorin. Thank you. I wouldn't have paid retail for this. The fucking retail price of this is outrageous. It's worth about half what he's charging, if that. It's very well made, no doubt, but it's not worth what he's trying to charge you. Sorry. Try and find deals somewhere. But there we are. Anyway, this has been this week's fragrance rotation. Thank you, everybody. I am going to try and make a couple more videos next week. Things are coming along nicely. The weather is changing nicely, and I am getting to break in my autumn and winter fragrances, and I'm enjoying it greatly. So, thanks, everybody. I will see you all again soon. Bye.